Hi, Keon. I wanted to leave you some feedback on your rough draft. So this is going pretty well. I like that you're kind of going, well, never really thought about kids before, because I'm not there yet. Perfectly acceptable thing to discuss. However, this is an idea that I don't know that you'll include in your narrative. It might be something that you'd want to reflect on in the conclusion, but it really feels like this section is the is the narrative, right? That so much of your focus was on sports, specifically football, and that was really your main focus. And even though your mom was making other suggestions to you, right? That, as you said, her advice always was not to put all your eggs in one basket. As young people do, we often go, yeah, that's great advice, but I'm not going to focus on it right now until we have to, right? So you have this moment where you got into a car wreck that really kind of changed things for you in in two different ways. It created some very what appears to be some um, in the short term, changes, right, in your life and your plans and what you saw for yourself, that I would assume was really difficult and probably somewhat painful, both physically, right, because I assume that you were injured as a result of the accident, but also probably, emotionally and in terms of identity, right? So if we see ourselves one way, and then all of a sudden that's taken away from us, we kind of go through this growth period of, well, God, who am I? But the wonderful thing is, and I think it's the resiliency and the guidance I think that your mom provided for you. You were able to figure out something else. And one of the things that's really nice about this story is I'm not sure that everyone would have been able to do that, as you have, right? So we always want to look for the so what, like, why is this story important? Well, there's a lot of different things going on, but I think one of the themes is the idea of resiliency and family, and that, just because our plans get changed, doesn't mean that that's the end for us, right? It's beginning to rethink those plans and see them in a new way. And I think that you've shown that when you've come across obstacles, you're willing to, and able, both willing and able to see a way around those obstacles. So I feel like this section is the story, right? So you really want to think about what is the moment of change, right? So I really think the rising, like probably the beginning, is painting this picture of you being this athlete, right? Specifically, being involved in football, how your mom gave you advice but you didn't listen to it, and then that car crash, right, is when you were kind of forced to take the advice, and that moment of change when you started to become, more studious, for lack of a better word, and really develop, as you say, your love of graphic design. I feel like that's the area that's the moment of change, right? Like right after the car wreck is the moment of change for you. So what you're doing in this draft is doing a lot of summarizing. In other words, you're doing a lot of telling. What you want to do in the final submission, and as you're working on this, really work on, stretching out those details and bringing in the descriptive writing, and maybe the dialogue that's going to help get you there. So to me, I see the arc, right? I see that good beginning, middle, and end that we want in a narrative. So great work there. Now you need to work on making all those details really come alive for the reader, and you want to do that with the descriptive writing. So I'm looking forward to this one, Keon. Good work.